All right, guys, welcome to Haunted Hangout. This is Season 5, Episode 9. We got an exciting guest for you tonight. And first of all, we're going to go over the prizes that we have. And wait, before we do that, we won't take the prizes down, Mikey. No,
that's why everybody's watching.
I know I did, but I want to give you your props. I want to say thank you for Mike Ross for coming on and saving our butt because we lost like everybody on our crew. Thank you.
Go clap. Go clap.
Right. We want to thank Kathy LeBeau for coming on because we lost that part of our crew as well. All right, Mike, go ahead and put them up now.
Oh, sure, now. There you go.
Well, I want to put you on the spot. All right, first of all, we have fright props. We were gonna do the blood and the wet, but we're not doing it this time because they are running out of the wet stuff. So, no.
We should move to the moist.
Right. They, it was so popular they ran out, so now they're giving away a troll. So, fright props is giving away a troll tonight. Right, we got Face Factory Effects. And they are giving away a mask. We have Sam Haines, Sounds of Horror and Halloween. They're giving away that. We have Sinful Audio, Original Sound Effects and Haunted House and Escape Room Sounds. We have Froggy Falls giving away 1 gallon of Fog Bog. Okay, now we're going to get the show going. We're going to hand it over to Jackie Laren, and she will be our host for tonight.
All right. First up, we have Greg Wallace from Wallace Manor Haunt in Loveland, Ohio. And we have Ryan and Kelly Gregor from Black Cat Crossing in Columbus, Ohio.
Hello.
And then Kit Espada and her boob double, Lydia Ross.
Side boob.
She said not side boob.
No.
I wasn't done. On Oak, East Providence, Rhode Island. And Michael Slade from the Halloween House in Long Island, New York.
Oh, yeah.
So, Greg, tell us a little bit about yourself and your haunt.
Okay, I'm Greg Wallace. I have a Halloween yard display in Loveland, Ohio. All started back when I was, my earliest memories probably like back in kindergarten. Went to a house and the mom came to the door to, give out the candy, and she was dressed as a witch, and I was like, oh, hell no, I ain't doing that shit. So that's but that stuck with me. So that's how it all started.
Awesome.
That was way back.
Way back.
Ryan and Kelly, tell us a little bit about yourselves and your haunt.
We've been in the house about 18 years and decorated probably 16 of those 18. And about 3 years ago, we started really ramping it up and making our own props. And we moved it into our backyard, which is bigger, if not the same as our front. And started letting people come in and walk around and see it all.
You guys have any couple issues with the haunt? There's always something. I wanted to bring that right out the bag.
Hot couples rock.
Yeah.
It's more so a parent issue. The kids will go get their drunk parents, and their parents will be stumbling around the house.
All right, Kit and Lydia, how about you?
Here at our house, it's been about 5 years, I think, that we've been doing just mostly display. There isn't so much a walkthrough, but I built almost everything the last couple of years. Lydia's been my right-hand man and kind of keeps things on the calm when you're in that suddenly like craft frenzy. And she's my piece and backup, but build almost everything from the ground up, and new every year. So new theme.
So you change out everything every year, or
Nice.
Yes,
Yeah.
wow,
everything.
Wow.
crazy. All right, Michael, tell us a little bit about yourself and your haunt.
I've been involved in Halloween close to 35 years. It started when I was a kid. My parents would just on their front porch start with scarecrows and hang a couple sheets. And 35 years later, it's evolved to something a lot more elaborate. I also do a walkthrough in the backyard for my kids' elementary school. That's it.
Awesome. Is anybody else hearing a little bit of weirdness with his microphone?
Yep.
Or is it just me? Okay.
With me.
You got a little bit of a robotic voice.
It's that new microphone. Never buy new microphones.
Let me switch back to
So, Greg, do you have a theme? And if you do have a theme, how did that come about?
I do have a theme. My theme is all based around the Civil War. In my area, Morgan's Raiders, I don't know if anybody knows who Morgan's Raiders is, but there was a Confederate cavalry, and they, pretty much ran all through Ohio and Kentucky, Tennessee, and they pretty much came right through my neighborhood. And so that's how I got my theme. It's all Civil War, kind of like the Fog, only instead of like dead sailors or dead Confederates, that kind of stuff.
Dude, nice. Yes. Hey, they're coming back with the Stephen
fun.
King. They're going to put out a series about the fog. So
Mhm.
you're actually trending, with your hurt.
Ryan and Kelly, how about you? Do you have a theme? And if you do, how did it come about?
It's pretty much cemetery at this point. I used to have an addiction when we first started to buying like the dollar store spirit tombstones. Then I decided those were horrible and have moved on. So we've just kind of kept going with the cemetery kind of classic Halloween theme.
Okay. Kit and Lydia, since you guys change themes every year, tell us about your most recent one.
The one last year was a alien apocalyptic with a lot of military influence. It's kind of like the old creep show aliens came down and lots of zombie army dudes. It was a lot of fun. I went to a haunt when I was little that my aunt took me to, who was the birth of all my Halloween love, and they changed every year. So I felt like that was the way Halloween was supposed to be.
Awesome.
Yeah, I did that for a long time too. It's like I was like, we can't have the same one. We can't have the same one. It's like, also it's like, oh shit.
It ain't easy.
What do I do with this one? They're like, what are you doing? My wife's like, what are you doing? You can't have like last year's haunt on the porch. Come on. It's like, what do you do with it? Try to sell it.
What do you do with the stuff from every year from the years past?
Right.
Yeah, you just redress it. You move on. You make new things. Repurpose. Yeah.
Michael, how about you?
Can you hear me now? This is a new microphone. Is that better?
No. I mean, I can hear you. I can hear you, but you're still really robotic.
Oh,
We could
Anyway,
we could probably make do. I mean, we can hear you.
okay. My theme changes from year to year. I try to never repeat a theme. 1 year I'll do clowns. Some years I'll do a cemetery scene. Some years I'll do a cornstalk patch. I just try to mix it up. I retool everything, and I built the thing sturdy enough. I just kind of change the positions of the dummies and go from there. This year I did a Walking Dead theme, and last year I did a cemetery scene with a car crash, which was pretty cool. I just figured out this year how to get more realistic human masks, and that was always my dilemma. I could never find human masks, and this year was the first year I figured out how to do it. It was a cheap way to do it. And so the idea's only going to get better from here on in.
So you just change out the heads on the dummies every year? Is that what you're doing?
I kind of everything. Some year, if you're a clown one year, you could be a butcher the next year. You know, it kind of depends. But if you go back and you look at some pictures of the dummies, you could see how, that guy was Rick Grimes one year, and now he was a clown, because it's just the positioning of it. So I just redress them, different heads. And, I make them have a small property. My property's probably about 20 by 40 on my front lawn, because that's where I do my displays, on the front lawn. So it's challenging to get about 20 to 30 something guys on that one little piece of land every year.
Well, you do a nice job of it, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's full.
Thank you. Yeah. The hard part is I don't have a lot of pictures from the past, because it's such a confined space, it really is hard to take pictures. So that's one thing I got to work on.
You and everybody else.
Or I just
Get pictures of hard sometimes.
Kathy, I was just going to ask if you had any questions, and then we'll move along to pictures.
I have a question for Michael from Christine Campbell. Where did you find the human-like masks for cheap?
Well, those masks are, I finally found a place. It's called Grayland Film, and I go through their website, and if you go through the Czech Republic website, not the Grayland Film USA, the masks are about half the price. They take about 3 weeks to get delivered, but they're about $30, $35. They're foam latex. They have about 50 or 60 to choose from. And, they don't have hair. These are all wigs that I buy. And I get them from Rose Gal, which is, I guess, a Chinese, I don't know what Chinese, Amazon or something, and you just buy their wigs for about $10, $11 each, and most of them are pretty good wigs. So I make my own eyes, and I put them over styrofoam heads.
So one more time, what was the name of that company?
The mask, Grayland Film, Grayland Film, Greyland, and they're realistic facial masks. I guess they're meant to be worn. And, you'll see if you go to their website, they're pretty strong, but they're thin. It's a foam latex, so it's kind of spongy. It's pretty interesting. So, then I work from there.
All right, Mike, are you ready with the pictures?
I am, of course I am.
Woohoo. All right, we're going to start with Greg. Tell us a little bit about what we're looking at here.
So I just took this one with my cell phone just from the front as you're walking up to my house. My display is basically a cemetery with some Civil War soldiers thrown in.
That was taken with your phone. That's a really good picture for a phone.
Yeah, I know. That's why I sent it. That's why I said, hey, use this one.
Use my phone.
That's right.
I think that's a testament to his lighting skills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, my wife took this one with her cell phone. That's another cell phone picture. But that's just an old tiki torch. I cut a hole in a skull, a foam skull, and put it over top of it.
I like that.
Put it in the middle of the yard.
Really cool.
Add a little fire scarecrow.
Wow.
Question from Trish Redding, Greg. Did you research lots of Civil War history to be more authentic?
Yes, I have books and books and books.
Nikki Spoon wants to know, do you use stuff actually from the Civil War for props? Is there anything in there?
No, nothing. Yeah, nothing
authentic,
antique or anything like that. But this tombstone, Thomas Weber, that's my son took this photo, but he was actually one of the cavalry in Morgan's Raiders, in the 2nd Cavalry of Kentucky. So I tried to incorporate some actual some actual people who were involved in the skirmish and all that.
So you made that then?
Yeah, I did.
That's very cool.
Really good.
It's really nice
Super
work.
realistic.
Yeah, I have a autumn, or it's called a sweet autumn clematis that goes around my lamp post, and every spring, actually, I just did it. I cut it down, and I save all the vines for Halloween. I'll wrap them around tombstones and stuff like that. So
It looks cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
this is another picture my son took. This past year was the first year where I could actually use fog. And it was you could tell there was fog, you know what I mean? the weather cooperated. It wasn't too windy and all that. So I really like this photo because you can see the fog.
I like the lighting.
Where'd you get the fog from?
Froggy's fog.
Oh, nice. Nice. I guess that's some good stuff right there.
And the fog machine as well. And this is my first year with the Froggy's frog machine, so maybe that's the difference too. You never know.
Yes, it looks really nice.
And I like this too because there's you can see someone back there in the background taking video or pictures of.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
One of my groundbreakers is back there.
So did you make all your tombstones, or did you buy some of them?
Yeah, some of them are old. You know how you start. You buy your tombstones. My wife would come home sometimes. Hey, I bought you these. You know what I mean? And which is cool. And I'd use them, and I still use a lot of them. I'm trying every year. I try to make more of them and get rid of the bought ones. And
Right. I mean, do you ever think of repurposing the bought ones and actually put them in one that you've made, make it a part of it? Because there are some pretty cool ones, but they're kind of small.
Just cut the skull out or the trim or whatever,
like
and actually put it on a tombstone you make. I have thought about that. I haven't done it yet, but I have thought about it. Yeah.
Mike Bloomhoff would like to. Oh, excuse me. Mike Bloomhoff would like to know what foam do you use for your tombstones?
Just the actually, most of these are the Home Depot pink foam, and in my area, apparently, all I can get is scored. So all the foam is scored, so it's got cuts in them.
Okay.
So I'm not doing that anymore because that sucks. Because that's just a pain in the ass trying to fill in the cracks, with joint compound or whatever. But that's what they are. So I'm going to go with the Lowe's green foam probably from now on, at least in my area.
I love this big one. This is awesome.
Yeah, that's really nice.
I really like that one too. I just added that one this past year. Again, that's Basil Duke is his name. He was another one of Morgan's Raiders. He was like a lieutenant or a sergeant or something. But he and his wife had, a dual kind of headstone thing. And I went to findthegrave.com, found a picture of it, and pretty much tried to duplicate it the best I could.
It's cool.
Yeah, I really like that one.
I like the candles around it too.
Yeah, and I like the little urns with the dead plants too. That's kind of cool. I like that.
Very cool. Awesome. Kelly, do you have any questions for the panel while we move along to Ryan and Kelly's photos?
Oh, sure. I've got a question for the panel. There's a lot of talk about lights and what everybody uses. If you'd like to get into that.
Yeah, we can start with that. And Greg, let's start with you.
I'm pretty much using all LEDs now. Lots of the Spirit, lots of the Home Depot other holiday LED lights that they sell. I use those as well. The stake lights. The candles are just the LED flicker tea lights I put inside the candles.
It worked well. It looked really good.
Thanks.
Ryan and Kelly, how about you?
We use a mishmash of all kinds of stuff, from the little holiday LED lights to the fire and ice type. We've got a bunch of those. We've got some of the Spirit ones that they have in their swamp scene and their zombie subway scene. So yeah, whatever we can find that we can put a gel on or make light with, we use it.
Kit and Lydia, what do you use
For the For the most part, I still have like the big old hot floodlights, but we switched over to some LEDs, and I have a lot of the like the strip LEDs that run on the remote controls.
Okay.
Those are cool.
For close-up stuff. I like the being able to change it out, but lots of the old-fashioned, like the serious, super hot, run my electric bill to the ground. But I like the color of them so much more.
Then it's worth it.
Yep.
All right.
They're always
Michael, how about you?
I use mostly low-level garden lights from Home Depot. What I do is, I wind them throughout the display, and almost each guy gets their own low-level light. And depending on what effect I want, I take out the glass cover, and I could either spray paint it blue, yellow, or red, and it just dulls it, and it tints, each person the color I want. And I also use a couple floodlights, just kind of for atmosphere. I'll aim them up into the canopy of the trees, which gives it a nice effect. But for the most part, I use the low-level garden lights you just get at Home Depot. They're a pain to work with. They really are. You got to clip those suckers onto the wire. And you know what? They're not too bright. And, I can modify them by just spray painting the little glass covers.
Very cool. All right, Mike, are we ready with Ryan and Kelly's photos?
There you go.
There you go. Tell us a little bit about this one. It's a sign.
Ryan's mom likes to pick up like little things for us all the time. And at one point of our bajillion of cats, we had like 5 black cats. So she thought this was a great idea. And it ended up being what we ended up naming our haunt after.
And how many cats did you guys say you had again?
7.
7. Because I think we talked about this before we went live.
Yeah.
7 cats.
And not a one of them is black anymore. But
Sadly, all the black ones are living in the cemetery now.
All right, what are we looking at here?
This is our carport. Pretty much just put all the little kitschy stuff in there. We've got a old big screen back there that we put atmosphere effects up on. The very back next to the big screen, there was a big shelf that we put a bunch of witch jars and all kinds of stuff back there.
and during our party, this is where all the food and booze go. So
I see you have a Jack Skellington in a coffin there.
I do love my Jack.
I love him too. All right, what are we looking at here?
That was like a cemetery chapel I tried to build. Everybody calls it a castle because there's a lot of stonework on it. But we kind of based it around the gargoyle at the top.
He's cool.
Very
He
It's
is.
right beside us here, even doing this. But then down below, there's a bunch of PVC candles, and then a little guardian girl, animatronic.
It's cool. It's really neat. Yeah.
That is really awesome. I like the lights on the front there too, under the gargoyle.
I like the midget in the front.
I mean, who can go wrong with a midget, right?
Always need at least one.
Did you rent?
Yeah, there's a daytime shot.
It's Bridget.
So here's the same thing during the day.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of funny. We were putting this up, and it's in the backyard because we have everything, and we have a privacy fence, and we definitely had neighbors like all the time. You know what I mean? Hey, what are you doing in there? What's going on? So kids on the school bus would go by. You'd hear them all scream the whole time we were building. So kind of cool.
How tall is it, and what is it made of?
That center box part is a full 8 foot tall, and then the part above the gargoyle is another 5.5 foot tall.
Wow.
Wow.
The two look like slate on either side. Roof panels are the same height. They're right up against the roof of the shed behind it.
Okay.
Very nice.
Oh, this is a cool picture.
So this was our throw together mausoleum for the cemetery. I think Ryan and I ended up whipping that together in less than a day. I was bound and determined to have a mausoleum this year, so there it is.
It's built on the front of our haunt storage shed.
Is that a saran wrap ghost?
No, actually, he is cloth. He just has one of those fire and ice lights, so it makes
Very
him look
shiny.
very
Yeah.
shiny.
He's actually from Grandin Road about
Oh,
8
it's
years ago, 9 years ago.
longer than that, but he's pretty cool. So
We've got lots of questions for you, Ryan and Kelly. Is that a distortion? Is that a distortions gargoyle?
absolutely, yes.
Is the castle made of foam?
It's mostly all the block work is foam. All the roof panel parts are foam, but then everything that's yellow is Luan.
So is the gargoyle static? Is it one of the static ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one I wanted.
Yeah. We fell in love with them at MHC last year, so
Yeah.
Cowell
we
would
came.
like to know, the slate roof on the castle looks so convincing. What was your approach with that?
I actually asked on the Hunters Hangout if anybody had any ideas how to do it and didn't get many ideas. So I just made grooves all the way across to set up my rows, and then went back and put V's to set each slate, and then went at it with paint.
Troy Crivelone would like to know, what is the new prop you wanted to work on but haven't yet or can't? That would
we have
actually
a
be a good
list.
question for the panel, but yeah. Oh, you have a list. Oh, that's
we have a list. We sat down and made a list for the year. So
there's
We're
nothing
working
wrong
on
with the
another guide
list.
this year, and
so we're going for the our own hearse, because sad to admit we had the old blow up hearse for many years. It finally died, so we're going to actually work on a real one this year for one. Moving the cemetery back out front. So again, it's a very, very large list this year.
maybe a dragon.
Maybe a dragon.
So since it was a panel question, let's keep going. Kit and Lydia, how about you?
As for the something I want to work on,
I think yes. Yep.
Or haven't yet.
New
Or haven't yet.
this year I don't have a real. This is the first year I'm going to use panels and have an actual kind of pop-up tent walkthrough.
Oh,
So that's new and different for me. I definitely would like to have some folks do some acting, because acting ain't my thing, but I'd like to have some really people who are going to be interactive with the folks that come.
Yeah, for sure.
That's important to me, I think, this year.
She takes a big drink.
Yeah, well, it's because I get nervous because you make me talk. So then the booze is comforting.
Don't fall off your chair. Don't make me ask if you're okay. Michael, how about you?
I'm not sure what I'm doing this year. Kind of stuff runs through my mind the whole year, and I usually don't decide what I'm going to do till about August. And I don't know.
August?
Yeah. Well,
Good Lord.
I have enough ideas. It's just what I'm going to put down. A big dilemma I have is finding human faces with expressions. So that's right now, that's my biggest problem to solve. The few I have are actually just styrofoam heads that don't look too bad. That's my goal, is to get human heads where I can manipulate the facial expressions and work with them. And then
Right.
Some of those are the cemetery.
Hey, Mike, please just do us all a favor and put it down in the Hangout, a link to where you get your mask and all that stuff. You don't have to do it now, but like tomorrow or something, so everybody can know where to get the mask and all that stuff.
Very cool.
Thank you.
No problem.
Greg, how about you?
Well, I think every Civil War cemetery needs a cannon.
Ooh.
So that's kind of what I'm thinking of
That would be
doing.
awesome.
With fog, blowing out and all that. But we'll see.
Where are you getting the fog machine from?
Froggy's
do
fog.
Oh, awesome. Oh, this is going to be great.
Where else? Does anyone else sell fog machines?
No.
I know of. Not that I know
I'll
of.
talk to Sinful Audio and get a good cannon report.
Right. Don't forget about the sound. You need the
Well,
sound.
I've already like gone and downloaded YouTube audio like from like Civil War reenactments and stuff like that. So, but yeah, there's always that.
All right, Mike, do we have Kit and Lydia's photos?
Yep.
Ooh, that was a good one.
That pumpkin head is the size of it's almost the size of a pallet. So he's about 4.5 feet across. His head.
That's a garage door next to it, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's huge.
So he was built watching JWowl's videos.
All 8 of them?
Awesome.
All 8 of them. And bugging poor JWowl like, hey, I'm doing this. Help me. So, but he came out real cool, and it was a lot of fun. He's
I
definitely
vaguely
a favorite.
remember who that is. Who is J-Wall? Yeah, that's right. There's he did some pumpkin, right?
Yeah, some pumpkins, and there's a baton, I think. I remember a baton.
Hey.
I have a question from Nate Digman for Kit and Lydia. Knowing you are both into cosplay, do you try to incorporate cosplay into your hunt? And if so, how? There was a couple questions, like Bob Cowell had the same question too about the cosplay. Do you incorporate it in?
So, I love to build the things. I'm not really good at the peopling and being in character and stuff, so not really. I did try this year to dress up and be kind of in character during actual Halloween, and it seemed like every turn of the road I was kind of like, yeah, hi, and it didn't work out.
But I think like the skills kind of go hand in hand with haunting. It's the building. You're just building a specific character versus building something for your haunt. It's very transferable skills.
Anthony Larden would like to know, do you enjoy your haunt more or cosplay?
Totally the Halloween more. It just gives me the cosplay stuff gives me something to do all year round, and it's a whole nother community. I mean, you guys are certainly way more family, and the like MHC versus one of the Comic-Cons. MHC is like you go to see family, you go to party and hang out, and the people are so much there's welcoming and very little drama. The cosplay stuff is everybody wants to be a elitist, and if you're not doing it this way, then you're doing it wrong. Whereas my home haunt is just as acceptable as some of the folks in these enormous haunts, and it's pretty cool.
Bob Cole wants to know, how many themes have you done, and is there a favorite?
There have been 5 for the 5 years that we've done it full on. And my favorite thus far has been the year with the pumpkin. We did it was all scarecrows and corn stalks, and that was definitely my favorite.
Yeah, that was the year we met.
Oh, that was the year we met.
Aww.
See?
Darren Smith would like to know, how many patrons go through your haunt?
We do full candy bars just as a counting thing. So, and I try to only give the full candy bars to the kids. So this year we did 256 kids. And then we passed out a whole bowl of candy to the adults too. Because I think if you're going to come and take pictures in the helicopter and do the other things, then you should get to have all the candy you want. So,
but there were people coming. There were people coming like well before Halloween, just checking everything out.
Yeah.
So
All right,
what's
let's get back to those photos. Where'd they go? There they are.
This one.
Yeah.
It's the horse.
So tell us a little bit about this.
So we needed my spouse, as much as he's fantastic, he does a lot of the heavy lifting, and he does a lot of the, here, let me put this here for you and clean up after you. That's kind of his gig.
That's
This
I take that. In a
this
second.
year we did for the picture. It was haunted holidays. So he was like, "We've got to have 4th of July." And I was like, "We can't do that." And he was like, "Yes, we have to." So he begged and begged, and I was like, "All right, fine." So I built that horse in a day. That was monster mud throw together for him.
Damn.
Wow.
That's awesome too.
It is.
Couple here.
So that's part of the haunted holidays. The snowman. That was a little
Wow.
what's going on over there.
Right.
The-
You all right, Mike?
Yeah, I'm fine.
So the snowman himself is paper mache clay over chicken wire. He didn't last too well though. I think he ended up too bendy at the waist and wasn't waterproof enough because everything I build has to stay outside for the month.
Looks great in that picture, though.
Yeah, he looks like something out of Krampus.
He actually has a little throwback to Doctor Who. So that was his inspiration, the snowman episode. Although his teeth are actual metal, and I definitely bled a few times on him.
Blood, sweat, and tears. That's what lasts
He's
long.
hungry.
Indeed.
He bites.
That's the best way.
The other guy, he was my first wiper motor build. So soup to nuts, this little dude I built over a chair and had a friend, Rich, who we met on Haunter's Hangout, who was a local haunter, helped me build all these. When the thing triggered, it would wobble a bit and make some noise. And he didn't last too long. I didn't love him so much. He was too heavy to move around. But he's got that heat gun plastic face. It works for being burned.
Cool.
Very cool.
More of the
Don't say the C word.
The other holiday.
Don't say it.
Okay.
Another holiday.
So
Bad Santa.
we did keep Christmas trees from that year and one of our neighbors' trees. So we had these great dead Christmas trees that were reused. But that Santa was one of those, the dancing Santa that sings. I just redid his head, so he had a creepy head. It was fun.
Nice.
What about that? Wait, go back to that one.
Yeah, what about the
giant deer?
That's Rudolph.
Oh, yeah, but
That was actually
It's a
that was
reindeer.
my then 6-year-old's addition to. He was like, I want to help you make something. And I asked him what he wanted to do, and he said, well, we could do Dead Rudolph. And I said, absolutely we could. So he affixed the nose and he made the light work and everything. So that was his first jump in.
Right.
I want to know about the fire.
All right.
yeah, tell us about the fire.
That's that
Just fire
coals
logs.
with the
great
fire
stuff.
logs and the great stuff and the lights underneath and the water bottles.
Yep. Been there,
Yeah,
done
so-
that.
Right. So she's got the husband that'll just like build stuff on the fly and do
No.
all the stuff. He
I build all the things.
I help.
puts it down. He puts it down.
He puts it away.
Right. And then you got the kids doing it too. That's not anything.
Linda Marshall would like to know, do you put the Christmas scene back out at Christmas time?
No. Nope.
Oh, we should.
My kids don't really care for the Halloween. They think it's too scary, and I definitely have a rule that if it's too scary, stay in your room. I don't know, go figure it out, buddy. So they like, hey, it's Halloween. It's Christmas time is our time. It's supposed to be happy, so we make sure it's smiley stuff.
Yes. Very good. Oh,
So-
little St. Patrick's.
Yeah, that was part of the haunted holidays, and the glowing coins and stuff. That was more of that great stuff idea, just with gold lights, and it worked really well actually. It looked really cool at nighttime. And then that's the 6-year-old. That was his. He sat through a good hour's worth of cotton and latex for that makeup. So
Yeah, he's a trooper.
Wow, that's great.
he was a good sport.
He looks awesome.
More?
Oh, one more, sure.
This was a photo op in this year's. This is my creep show alien that nobody really digged on but me, but that's fine. It's about me. The we had 4 of these guys, and they're all what's the Pipeworks dudes?
Oh, Spider Hill.
They're all Spider Hill bodies with these faces on them. But this thing was a photo op that I got from my friend Rich, kind of a hand-me-down, and we made it fit into our haunt this year. So all the kids this year got to climb in the table and pretend the alien was scooping them up.
Awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Like that.
All right, Kathy, do we have any questions for the panel while we get Mike's
I have a
pictures ready?
very good question from Amanda Revenge for the panel. How long does it take you to finalize your concepts from start to finish?
Michael, let's start with you.
I am changing things around on Halloween, so it's kind of the whole month of October. I put it out, and I'm tweaking things and adjusting things and editing things and adding a little Easter egg here and there, and it never ends. Never ends.
Never does.
Greg, how about you?
November 1st till now.
Yeah, used to be just, October 1st, put everything out. Last year we started building, like right after MHC, and we were still building the night before Halloween.
Wow.
That's how it always is. I know, it's horrible.
Okay, do we skip Greg? I'm so confused. I got lost.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't change themes, so I don't change themes, so it's I just add things here and there, so.
All right. Are we ready with Michael's pictures and go from there?
There you go.
Woohoo! All right, Michael, tell us a little bit about this one.
This year I did the Walking Dead theme. So the basic concept of it was that the zombies got in, and for once the cast of The Walking Dead did not win this battle. So if
Nice.
if you can kind of, if you can look at the layout, like I said, it's hard to get pictures. I put a couple in there, almost from like a cherry picker, but you have to kind of piece together the whole scene. This is what you're looking at, where Daryl, the zombies broke through the fence, and a couple of them have come in, and Daryl trips, falls back. He has 2 zombies about to attack him, and of course he uses a crossbow, as we all know, and unfortunately he missed this time. And he shot Carl. So
Oh, yeah.
on the other side of him, you'll see Carl with an arrow in his chest. Rick Grimes is shooting one of the guys who's about to get him, and that's that picture.
Glenn.
That is Glenn. I thought it was clever to put him and have him get killed on the dumpster, because in that one episode,
He should have been dead anyways.
Should have been dead in the dumpster the first time. And when I decided to add the dumpster, I said, we gotta kill him. And my wife said, you know what? Let's make Lucille, and let's just throw him in there. And this picture was 2 weeks before they aired that Glenn was the one who got killed on the episode.
Wow.
Foreshadowing. My son gave me a hint. I think
Your fault.
Yeah. You jinxed it.
So my son reads the comics, so he said, I think he told me that Glenn got killed in the comics.
Yes, he
with
does.
the bat. So we just threw it there. It looked cool, and it was kind of foreshadowing.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
The property is, like I said, it's kind of small with a walkway down the middle. So it's always challenging to try to tie the two sides together with a walkway through the middle. So this year I did the main side, and this is the governor, and he's the one who leads the zombies to break into the prison, essentially what it is. So the governor with Merle, there's another picture of Merle, maybe you'll see later, and he's leading zombies, and that's pretty much the storyline of this year's theme. So the zombies just didn't happen to find the prison. The very bad governor was the one who led them there, holding them prisoner, almost like, you know, the scene when they were there with the tank in that one scene. And I just decided to change the storyline. It was something I wanted to do for years, and that's how it came out.
Those hands are awesome.
Yeah, right?
Those hands are
Right?
excellent.
They're which ones are those? I don't know. I use so many different kinds. I don't even remember which ones those were. I think they're just foam hands. I don't know, but they happen to perfectly fit on the crutch, so they look great.
Those are great.
Yeah.
Melissa Polson would like to know, how do people react to your version of The Walking Dead?
Not as many people watch The Walking Dead as you think.
What?
which was what I was surprised. And you'd always have someone, a smart ass, say, well, they have a season 6 Carl with a season 2 Rick. And then you look, and the parents are looking at them like, well, how do you know this? So, you know, it was, I thought it would have went over better, but you know, for the people who weren't Walking Dead fans, it was kind of just a cool scene.
It's very cool.
Not you know, not as meaningful to Walking Dead fans.
So how much customization do you got to do to like the masks to get them to look like who they're supposed to look like Herschel or?
Well, the Herschel was
Glenn or whatever.
actually Herschel. They sell that mask, which I hated the mask. I tried to touch it up. It didn't look great, but you know, they sell Herschel, and then they sell Merle. And the Merle mask it was when he's actually a zombie.
Oh,
So I changed it to make him look like he was still alive. The individual characters, like I said, there's Merle.
yeah.
The individual characters, you know, I just kind of looked at all the plain masks and tried to visualize what the character would look like.
Who's up on the porch?
On the porch, that's just background stuff. You know, I board up the windows. There's a scarecrow, you know, on a pika on the roof.
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
There's just, you know, I just put random people everywhere.
Mike Bloomhoff would like to know, do you get any complaints from neighbors?
I have one neighbor who tries to shut us down every year and calls the building department.
Bastard.
Bastard.
You know,
Bastard.
they laugh him off. It's become a joke. So, and he's the only one on the block. And, you know, I mean, you know, that's it. You know, on Halloween, we block off the entire street for safety, because we get thousands of kids. It's just,
Wow.
you know,
Wow.
it's just it's nonstop. And I remember the first few years when we did it, and it got busy, we would have cars double parked. And back then we used to have guys come out and chainsaws and scare people, and we had 100 kids scatter into a street at a time. And it was so dangerous. So we said, we got to block off the street. And since then, we stopped, doing the performances because people wouldn't leave. You know, if a chainsaw guy came out, or we would have someone, other actors, people would just stay and linger, and then it got to a point where, you couldn't even get close to the house. So for the people who wanted to come see it, So now it's just a display. You know, I do a haunted a walkthrough, a haunted house in the backyard. Like I said, that's strictly for my kids. I have a son and daughter in 1st and 3rd grade, so their whole school comes. Do that the week before Halloween, and we keep it up in the back. And you know, every night we get drunk and we bring random groups back. And we send them through one at a time. You know, we don't we get way too many people trample my lawn. So
That's awesome.
Great pictures. Thank you.
That's fun.
Greg, how about you? Do you have any issues with your neighbors?
No, not that I know of.
Not that you know of.
Not anymore.
Well, the people across the street, my wife mentioned to me last year, is like, hey, did you notice as soon as you started putting Halloween stuff, they put an angel on their door? No, I didn't notice that at all. But so they just sold their house, so we'll see what happens next year.
Run them out.
Ryan and Kelly, how about you?
No, our neighbors are really supportive, so it's actually very cool. We haven't had any issues.
Lucky. Kit and Lydia, how about you?
Most of our neighbors are pretty great. The only people we had any trouble with moved out this last year, so we'll see how things go. We have some new people moving in. I warned him already when I went over to his dumpster when he was clearing out the last house. I was like, so what's in that dumpster? Can I just I can help you get rid of some things. So
Any bodies in there?
he was like, what do you do with it? I was like, Halloween, you'll see.
Kathy, do we have any questions for the panel?
I've got another question from Trish Redding. Wait, do I need to go fill up my wine first? I think I need to go fill up my wine. Hang on a minute.
She'll be
Trish,
back.
are you okay?
Okay, I think this is a really good question. Is there any prop that gives you trouble every year for the panel?
Michael, let's start with you.
There's got to be one that gives you trouble every year.
I would say when I do my cemetery, the tombstones. When I made all my tombstones, I made them wrong. I didn't anchor them correctly. And they are just such a nuisance to stake into the ground. And it was just one of those things. One of my biggest regrets. I have to redo it and do it right because I spent so much time. And it's just
Pain in the ass.
So, you know, I try to think everything through, and my tombstones are the absolute worst.
Greg, how about you?
I have a shiatsu groundbreaker that likes to give me issues. You know, his arm will break off, or you know, he just won't work at all. And he's got a he's attached to a motion detector with a fog machine and everything, and it's just something doesn't work every year. One of the parts don't work.
Ryan and Kelly?
It'd be until now, I think we're finally done with it. The inflatable hearse that we had for 15 years. About the last 5 years, it started sagging, and the horses would end up in odd positions because they didn't get completely filled up. Last year, I one day, and they were like flipped over on top of each other, and that's me.
Oops.
I got some of the shepherd's hooks last year just to hold the thing up and make it through the holiday.
But it's gone. So.
Kit and Lydia?
I think at this point, the ones that give me a hard time are those that the first year we went full on, I made 30 of those chicken wire bodies.
Yeah, like saggy.
And so now when we redress them, as the heat goes, you know, the rain comes or something changes, you got 16 bamboo sticks shoved up in each one of them, making sure they stand up and
Under the fingernails.
Yeah, there's like, and you're hiding things inside, but I'm not ready to give them up yet because they take up a lot of space and we have a pretty good sized yard. So.
Right.
All right, Kathy, do you have one more question for the panel, and then we'll move along to some more photos?
Anthony Lardignan would like to know, do you ever get time to visit other haunts, whether they are pro or home haunts, or does building your own take up most of your time?
Greg, let's start with you.
I got no time for that.
I know. That's like
I got no time for that. I would love to like walk. I don't think anyone else in my neighborhood does anything, but I don't know because I ain't got time for that.
Nobody got time for that.
Take one more time.
I would love to. I would love to like go on a walk. Like, tell my wife, hey, let's go on a walk. Walk around and see if anybody's got decorations out. But
that doesn't happen.
I'm too busy. No, that don't happen.
Ryan and Kelly.
Not really. I mean, we make it a point to go to Fairborn every year, where they have like a Halloween shop that kind of takes over a little downtown area. They take over and do quite a few yards down in that area, but that's probably about the closest that we do.
And if we see anything yard hunt, we try to stop and take a look at least, but there aren't a lot of people that decorate it around here.
Kit and Lydia?
I try to make at least a couple. We try to, the big haunts. Although I will say to all you big haunt folks that are watching, I definitely go for the Sunday nights. That's when we can go.
Turn the lights on. Come on.
Yeah, Sunday night. But we made it out to Haunted Overload last year, and a couple of the other locals. One of the ones local to us does a full-on, even more than Hoochie did, like touching and full contact, and that was a lot of fun. That was Fear Town. We had a great time.
And what about Haunted Overload?
What's that?
What about Haunted Overload?
That was
amazing.
It was amazing.
It's just
SK and Kristen came down and made the trip, so we all went together. It was pretty cool. It was a good time. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, what a blast.
Michael, how about you? Do you get to go out and visit any other haunts?
We have a town, a couple towns over that they have a lot of people do. They have about 12 people in that one town that does a lot of displays. And me and my kids, we load up in the car and we go check that out every October. Other than that, there's not a lot around us. Not a lot to see. Long Island's pretty scarce, so
you're bringing it, man. That's why you got all the people coming around.
Yeah.
We've been doing it for so long. I kid you not, it's been 35 plus years.
Wow.
Started with my parents, and started simply with like I said, scarecrows on the front porch, sheets, and we always thought it was cool to put leaves on the front lawn, dead leaves, and on the walkway, and that's how it started. And that was a long time ago. So it's gotten a little more sophisticated since then, and now we've become obsessed with it.
That's like
obsessed. What's that?
That's like an OG right there. That's like an OG.
Absolutely.
All right, Mike, are we ready with some more pictures?
There you go.
All right, this should be great.
Wow.
And this is one of my favorites right here.
Yeah, so I have a friend who is a photographer. And she comes to my house every day or two before Halloween or whatever and takes photos. And this is one that she took. And I think all the rest of them are all of hers. So I know. She's awesome.
That is awesome.
The whole composition.
Yeah, it's very artsy. I like it.
I like
So that's what kids see. The little kids. That's what the little kids see as they're walking, through my cemetery fence. And there's that damn shiatsu groundbreaker too.
Nice. Here's my favorite right here.
Yeah, so this is my cauldron creep. His name is Cookie. I name everybody just because.
Of course.
Where the hell did Cookie come from?
Cookie.
He's cooking.
He's cooking. He's cooking for the troops,
Oh, okay.
Is that KY or KV?
Yeah, there's a KY.
Good question.
That's KY for Kentucky. Not,
Oh,
Oh, it was on everybody's mind.
That's
yeah.
not the secret
So
ingredient.
that's the flag of the 2nd Kentucky Cavalry. So
gotcha. Kentucky Cavalry?
Kentucky.
I love this too. This is cool.
So that's my grave popper. You know, goes up and down. You know, behind the grave. Her name is Karen with one eye, spelled with one eye. Because she's got one eye. She's back there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that's a Nightmare Maker's skull. I love their
Oh,
stuff.
damn.
Wow.
I just
Now-
got my mold. Well, I'm going to get it. I paid for it.
Pick mine up.
Did
at
you
eight.
do anything
Yeah.
over that?
I was just saying, is that you dry
Well, yeah.
brushing that? Like, is that?
Yes. It came as
All
just a plain foam skull, and
That
I
looks great.
painted it and did everything, hair, all that stuff. Yeah,
It's cool.
which is the fun part, I think.
I think so too. That's the creativity part of it.
Oh,
Wow.
And there's Kyle.
Oh, I thought that was cookie.
KY.
That's Kyle. Yeah, with a KY. It is. But not what you're thinking.
Of
No.
course not.
So
Oh, sorry.
oh, that's all right.
Okay, go ahead.
Wow.
So that's JR. He's one of the first things I made, and that's actually a
Who shot
Terror
him?
Syndicate skull that I did latex and cotton ball and all that stuff over top of.
That
So he
looks
stands by
really
the door. Yeah, he stands by the door. He's going to have to get moved, I think, this year because like the kids are starting to get like wise to what's going on. You know, like
This
He-
picture, it looks like it's somebody in a mask in this photo.
you know, he like reaches out with his arms and stuff. And the kids don't see him as they're coming to the door, but when they're leaving, they do, and that's when I like trigger it. But they know he's coming now, so I need to change it up. And he might, I don't know, he may be retired for a year or two. We'll see. Oh, there's another picture of Kyle. And Kyle with the KY. He's, and you were talking about the Spider Hill Prop Works, right? Earlier.
Mhm. Yep.
See, I went to MHC and I'd seen the Spider Hill like zombie that spins around or turns around and all that stuff lots of times, but I never was like really interested in it. But when I went to MHC last year, I saw it and it like just like light bulb, bing, and I could see it like it was done, and what I was going to do with it, like get rid of the top of the Spider Hill stuff, put a skeleton up there instead, with skeleton arms and everything. So that's where I got the idea for him.
Ooh, I like
That's
that.
Cornelius.
That's very nice.
Who is this?
That's
Who?
Cornelius.
Cornelius.
There's like Butch, Kyle, KY, and then also Cornelius.
Cornelius.
Oh, from the soul
Corn-
train, from the soul train.
Corn. Yeah.
You have pets. What are their names? Jeez, eh?
Pass out a program as people come up, and so they can pick them out. And
No. All that matters is that I know. That's all that matters. So.
Right.
There's that damn shiatsu's around. You can tell his arm's kind of wonky in that picture, I think.
Right,
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
good. That's
His
like
name's Willie.
that's like OG prop making right there. It's like
And that's Jack. They all have names.
Hey, Jack.
So that's my scarecrow Jack. I put it. He's like right out front, right in front. So I think
his
that's why
hands.
like the neighbors like put the angel on their
Kind of
door
looks like
'cause
he's
he's when they look out their window, that's what they see.
that's the ones that complain, just like stick it right in front of their window.
We got one more from him. Oh yeah, back to this.
Oh,
Another, yeah. I just like that
beautiful.
one. I don't know.
like that
Beautiful.
too.
So cool.
I just love that one.
That's super awesome. Kathy, do you have any questions for Greg? And then we'll get Ryan and Kelly's photos ready.
How about a question for the panel?
That works.
From Megan Larson, what is your cheapest prop that got the biggest reaction?
Ryan and Kelly, let's start with you.
It's probably the statue, the Grim Reaper guy. Yeah, that was actually our first big project. We built kind of one of those statue Grim Reapers for the cemetery, and it wasn't that expensive. And again, he peeks up over the fence, so everyone loves him.
Kit and Lydia?
Last year, probably the helicopter, because it was free foam, and so the expense on it was really little. But I mean, it was a helicopter, so people would stop. I mean,
Dude,
it was.
that thing was amazing. I was like, dang it, she built like a real helicopter.
We'll see that.
Out of
a
some
little bit.
shit. She built a whole helicopter out of some scrap ass foam and shit looked real. I was jealous. I was, damn.
Michael, how about you?
I would say one year I did a car scene or a car smash through a cemetery. It's probably a picture of it later. And I fabricated a license plate because the Mets were in the playoffs playing the Cubs. And the license plate, I believe it said Die Cubs or something. And
I think it was Cubs are R.I.P.
Oh my, yeah, rest in peace, Cubs. And they ended up beating the Mets, so then I had to change it to something else for Halloween.
Yeah, I remember that. That was cool.
So like, that was two years ago. So, a lot of people noticed that.
Greg, how about you?
Everybody loves the FCG. I got FCG in one of my windows. And everybody loves that. So.
Awesome. All right, are we ready with Ryan and Kelly's photos?
Absolutely.
There we go.
Distortions will never die.
They aren't dead yet. When we bought the gargoyle, Ed gave us a little signed Monster Maker picture, and he's, "Can I come live in your graveyard?" So I was trying to figure out what to do with his tombstone when I was making it, and I was like, I'll make it a distortions one.
Nice.
That's an old headboard, like an old little kid's headboard that he recycled from a job that he worked at.
Cool.
That is cool.
That's a really good idea.
Dude, that's like really like
Smart and stuff.
Sturdy.
I said the other day, it's a fine line between hoarding and
yeah, that's a
collecting.
that's a repurposing right there.
That's I'll Be Back's grave.
It was really our first play around with distressing and trying to do different paint effects.
So we've got raised bed gardens in our backyard, and we were trying to figure out what to do with them to make them fit into a scene, and it's like, we'll make them raised graves.
Oh, there you go.
Perfect.
Did you guys do all the marbling on it?
Yep.
Well, that's really good.
Is that attached to a motor or anything so it moves back and forth?
It is not currently, but we've talked about a future project.
It's on the
Put
list.
some lights in a little
It's on.
gap at the top. And
It's a list.
Hey,
Mine too.
you know where you can get a wiper motor, right?
Bright props.
Right,
Right, there you go. Wiper props, that one. It's good. Works good.
And that's the witch shelf.
Yeah, we were in West Virginia, and I went to this little thrift store, and they had a bunch of antique bottles, like all you could fit in a basket for like $2.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
So I got a bunch of these really cool old bottles and started playing around with distressing them, and so yeah.
That looks awesome.
And that's our Grim Reaper dude. That was actually relatively inexpensive, but people just love him.
Yeah, he's got a conduit skeleton covered in chicken wire and then covered with burlap and monster mud. It's just a cheap plastic skull for the head. And the base is just one by wood.
That was rocking. Oh, here's close up.
It's a close-up
Oh,
of it, yeah. And the flame cauldron is just one of the spirit flame cauldron.
In the picture, it really looks cool. Looks like he's going to burn his face off.
It
Yeah.
does.
And like we were saying, we don't really do much out in the front of our house. This was the front this year. That's all the strip from the subway from Spirit. All the fire and ice lights. And then we just got a hanging ghoul right in the middle of the front door.
Nestor.
Question from Corinne Singer. What is your most favorite scene you have done?
It is definitely the chapel for me. I love that thing.
Yeah.
So,
It was a lot of work, but I liked it.
yeah.
Yeah, there's like
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. I was gonna say everyone knows what Nestor is. The
Yeah.
good old Halloween prop. So
I made him a little seat with an A-frame and put a bunch of corn stalks all around it.
and
Melissa Wilson says, your lighting looks great. Do you try different techniques or colors and change until it looks right?
Yep.
oh man, we are outside all month fiddling with things. So,
Really?
yeah.
Hey,
And then these, it's our main cemetery. All those are handmade, except for the one all the way to the left. That's a jumping grave from Spirit.
I like that obelisk. That looks nice.
Yeah, how tall is that?
It's about 6 foot.
Yeah, he's almost as tall as you.
Nice.
And then right behind it, we just have a shepherd's hook with a foam head and cheesecloth over it, peeking out behind it.
Yeah, it looks really good how you got it, and like looks like there's all these images on the fence too, so looks really good.
And those were that was the swamp set of lights. And they wrapped around onto this section too.
And then, well, we have the pile of rocks in our
Pile of
backyard.
rocks.
Right. So it's like, what the hell do you do with a pile of rocks? So the answer is put a bunch of skeletons and pumpkins on it. So
Perfect.
yeah.
And then the 2 graves in front, the one, she wanted to make Bill and Ted.
Excellent.
And we got a little
Exactly.
horse put up on top because they're killed by wild stallions.
I like the
So-
shadows on the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that turned out really, really well with the lighting. So
We have one more from Ryan. That would be the daytime shot.
the pile of rocks.
a pile of rocks.
Now, where do you purchase your rocks from?
Where do you store them?
Where do you store your rocks?
That's where I store the rocks.
Hey, they're for sale if anyone's looking.
That's like the biggest question, where do you store them rocks?
Right where they're at. I was in a remote control rock crawling group, and we lost our place to have our rocks, so I'm like, put them in my yard.
Nice.
Sitting there.
Well, you made them work. It looks good.
Hey, only a hunter would do that. Like, just dump it in my yard. We're good.
Most of it.
I'll make some out of it.
Daytime, nighttime, daytime, nighttime. That's the
Daytime.
And on the left, the wheelbarrow
Oh, sorry.
has
Okay.
skeleton pushing it, and it's full of bones.
Awesome. All right, Kathy, do you happen to have a question while we get Kit and Lydia's photos ready?
I don't think this was discussed. Darren Smith would like to know, do any of you charge for entry or do donations, or is it just free?
Kit and Lydia, let's start with you.
This is the first year we did food donation, and it wasn't like strictly enforced, but I had a bucket and a sign, and we ended up, I think, with 6 of the, I guess, 20
Bins, yeah.
gallon bins full. And my husband does a lot of stuff with the boys club. They do a food donation, and with the military, they kind of collect and go with the Boy Scouts. So he added it just to that stuff. It was going to the Rhode Island Food Bank.
Michael, how about you?
That's
sorry.
We put out a donation box for Sunrise Summer Camp for kids with cancer. So no obligation, but we do take donations, and at the end of the season, we give it to the organization. It's a great charity.
Oh, it is a great charity.
Greg?
No, nothing.
Nothing.
No,
Right, Kelly.
Greg,
Oh.
Greg, we're gonna come back to you. Kind of lies, like yes, we do like the Kid Foundation.
Profit, so you know.
Right. I'm just messing with you.
Ryan and Kelly?
We haven't yet. We've contemplated asking one of the local cat rescues to work with them,
Yay!
since we got a couple of our cats from there.
Cool.
Awesome. All right, we should be ready to go with Kit and Lydia's photos.
You betcha.
All right.
Oh.
Oh, you
Oh,
didn't share it. Oh,
Hey.
you didn't. Did
It
it?
was-
No.
it was
Oh,
there,
it
but it's
was.
gone.
Try again. There we go.
I just
Oh.
I knew it. It was it was
There had to be one. There had to be one.
Mike Perfect.
This was from I had a full, like that 30 by
A wedding tent.
the wedding tent, carport size tent, all wrapped in plastic. It was like a toxic area. The clown is one of the first zombies I made in that group of chicken wire bodies, and he stayed a clown. And that was, remember the birth of all the clowns coming up everywhere? Everybody was afraid to have clowns around. They were going to get beat up or something. So I had to make sure there was at least one in my haunt, because that was
Yeah.
important to me.
Represent.
Right?
But this was the only place that this year that we had a live person kind of scaring folks, and it worked out really well. So that made me kind of want to do that more.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I like the wall of faces things behind it
Yes.
Lots of great stuff and stuff.
and stuff.
Lots of stuff.
Things and stuff and
Puff
things.
and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Cowell would like to know what
Bunny.
he uses for sound.
So sound is new. That in that room, I had an iPod just running like random like bubbly noises and stuff. This year, I want to have it more distinguished. Actually use some of the stuff that's out there. I had a friend of mine make helicopter noise, so we had that running in the helicopter all the time. And there was another one too. I think the UFO had some noise under it too, alien noises and stuff.
Cool.
This scene was the haunted Easter when we did haunted holidays. That bunny suit had a dummy in it the whole month of October except for Halloween.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome.
So he sat out on that chair every day, and at nighttime we'd toss him in the passenger seat of my car, and in the morning I'd bring the kids to school with him and still in it, because it was too much work when you're still sleepy to kind of. But so Chris, my husband, wore that the night of Halloween and sat in the same chair, and he got some really great response from it. Either
Dude,
kids
that
wanted
is
to
so-
cuddle, or they were afraid. It was great.
Yeah, they come through there like every day, and like it's a dummy. It ain't.
It's a
moving.
dummy, right?
And then-
All day
and
long
then
it sat
Halloween-
there.
Then Halloween is like chapow. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I made that from scratch on my own. That was my first like furry build. So
Was that Roger Rabbit?
he went to a con as Punk Roger Rabbit at some point. Yeah.
So that was a cosplay to Halloween.
Very cool.
The UFO.
Yeah. So the UFO was a hand-me-down from Garage of Evil, which is a local haunt. They do some amazing stuff.
Shit. You're
Yeah.
right. I just remembered that. Oh my god.
Yeah. So I have a couple of hand-me-down stuff that actually has come, I think, 2 different folks down to me, but this is my favorite, and I hope to kind of pass the love around with this and that someone else gets to use it, because it's not, like I said, I change the theme every year, so it's not, you can't stick a UFO in all of the scenes, but this was perfect, and it makes me happy, it's beautiful, it worked out. I put the lights on it, but they built everything. It's cool.
Cosplay.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So cool.
So this entire, the puppet, VFX we have a box from them. So Sir Didymus, the puppet on my back there, he does like the full range of all the talking and real Didymus voices. It's way cool. The Ludo character my husband wore, but I will say that's when Lydia pulled it out of the park. Between the two of us, we did 280 craft hours in
3 weeks.
in under 3 weeks. I think it was something like 2.5 weeks.
That was intense.
The fur on that monster is real alpaca fur and all hot glued on by hand.
Good Lord.
Yep.
Wow.
I think it was like 27 hours of just gluing fur on.
That must be a heavy costume.
I want to know about the feet coming out of your shirt right there. What?
That's Lancelot.
That's an Easter egg to the movie Sir Lancelot.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, hey. So those are deer. Well, they're dogs, but they're those reindeers that I picked up at a couple of yard sales that we did. Wrapped them in plastic and melted them and burned them all up.
Stuck some fur on there.
Yeah. They looked great in the dark too, and with the deer movement, the shorter one did the up and down, and the taller one did the side to side. It was awesome. They were super creepy.
You so gotta love haunters, man. Yeah, we can.
Now here comes the helicopter.
Here comes the helicopter.
So that's an early on picture.
Free foam.
Yeah, it was free. It was a giant hunks, and I wanted to make something with it. The only thing we purchased was the door and the seat from a junkyard. So I didn't spend much money on it, but I got my hot knife and went to town.
And there it is.
It's sturdy enough that the kid climbed in, and we have so many pictures of folks. The blades spun and lit up. There's lights inside, all the dashboard lit up, the headlights lit up. So it was supposed to even look Bernie on the inside, and the fog machine inside. It definitely was a lot. It was a lot of work, but it was well worth it.
I can imagine. There he is. It does fit. Full dashboard.
Yeah, the full dashboard. A lot of it, like the caps that you see, that's all like great stuff caps and paint cans, and then a couple of dash assemblies from some junk cars. But they loved it.
There's the fam.
Yeah. So the Gatling guns was just built from junk I had in the yard, and I was like, I'm totally making some guns today.
Sun's out, guns out.
Hey Diablo, didn't you have some project you were supposed to be doing last year or something? Helicopter.
He made a helicopter. It was an Apache. Got it done. But we walked away from MHC saying we were both building helicopters.
Right? We're like, that was a helicopter. He's like, I am too. We were like, so we were posting back and forth pics of what we were doing.
So these are actual military sandbags that we had gotten. They're all filled with upholstery foam. I had 6 that were actual sandbags, and they're all wired together. We ended up with somewhere around 60 of them total, but it looked great up on the roof. And it was no weight because they're all just foam filled.
Oh, that's up on your roof.
That is up on the like, think of like a porch roof, like a farmer's porch, kind of.
All right, I see the shingles.
Love the shirt though.
Yeah, rock it. Represent. And we have one more from Kit, and that is back to
the horse. That was just to show how tall it was. The kid there is about 5'10", so.
And you didn't spend $200 on that one, did you?
Nah, that was a freebie.
Right. Where'd you find the kid from?
He lives up the upstairs somewhere. I let him out once in a while.
Want some candy? Just come take a picture.
Okay, back to the Apache.
All right, Kathy, do you have any questions?
Michael Skaggs has a question for all. What is your favorite age group as far as your haunt goes? That's a good question.
Go ahead, Kit and Lydia. You can start.
I kind of like the teenagers because they recognize how much work you've put in, and they like really appreciate it.
Yeah,
You know?
or they ask the questions.
Yeah.
The kids who are just old enough to that kind of like tween age.
Right.
They're like, that's really cool. How did you do that? And that's fun when you get to be like, you want to see?
Yeah.
Want to see what great stuff is? It's way cool.
Right. Never thought of it. Right.
Michael, how about you?
I don't think any particular age makes a difference. I'm always surprised how a 3-year-old is not scared and a 50-year-old is petrified of something. So it varies. It varies from person to person. It's just the people that are afraid, regardless of their age. Those are the best.
Greg?
Yeah, I like the real little kids. And I've noticed that the real little, the little girls. Well,
That didn't sound
I don't know a good way to say that now. So I'll just say the little kids. And I noticed that the little girls, they're not scared. They don't care. They just like say, "Hey, give me my candy bar." You know what I mean? They don't care. The little boys are always scared. So
candy.
Kelly.
Wop 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 wop.
Probably the
Younger.
Yeah, that's good.
We're not going to say that. Yeah. I mean, honestly, they're still looking around with like wonder. Like it's so super cool where they're just like in awe. We had a few years ago where we had a group of preteens come through, and man, I've never wanted to smack a bunch of kids more in my life. They were, but like I said, in general, it's that kind of wonderment. Probably kids like 6 and under seem to be really, really in love with it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I had a point at one time where, we got the smart ass kid come through. You always get that one that just kills you, man.
Like, is this all you have?
It's like I'm gonna beat you up, and I had like I had a drop panel that went 4 ways, so it was a drop panel, and it dropped down. He's like, the guy in the red shirt's being a real ass, and I was like, okay. And then he comes through and he's like, this ain't scary. And I was sitting there and I don't even know why I did it. I literally like reached through there and just grabbed him like a little kid and smashed him up against my head. I was like, is this scary enough for you? And dude, he just like freaked out. I was like, okay, you got me. Dude, it's like, so I just did it. I don't know why. I'm not to be trusted in any haunt. That's why I will never be a haunt actor, because I'm not to be trusted.
All he got is scared.
All right, are we ready to go with Michael's photos?
Oh my god.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome.
The walls.
Yeah, that was just that was the entrance point where the zombies got into the prison. So, yeah, that's one of the wolf zombies.
How he's going.
Oh, there's a W. Yep.
Yeah. So, only the people who follow The Walking Dead picked
This
that
is
up.
really cool.
This is an old one. I don't even know. That could be.
That looks like a painting.
Yeah, the lighting
It was
Yeah, that looks like a print.
a photographer randomly came over and was just shooting them one weekday, and he would overexpose it for 15-20 minutes, and it was almost cartoonish.
Yeah.
And he made
awesome.
copies and he gave them to us, and it's one of my favorite pictures.
That is really cool.
I mean, and the thing is like the originals kind of look that cool, so it's kind of cool that the that the overexposure looks even that cool.
Yeah.
That was 1 year I expanded to my neighbor's lawn.
Dude, you know that shocked the fuck out of us right there, right? He was like, what?
So, yeah.
The wedgies, great. See it?
Oh, yeah, and a wedgie.
That's awesome.
So you can see under the other clown, the guy with the wedgie is a seesaw. So there's a little trick or treat. So the clown on the shoulder, he's going to do a swan dive and launch that kid the other side.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have other pictures. There was another clown playing hangman. So you can see the chalkboard. And there's a little old school teacher who is.
See it in the back? Is an actual thing.
Oh, yeah.
See it?
Yeah.
There might be other pictures, and that was it. That was just a clown scene. This was a cemetery car crash I did 2 years ago. That was probably one of my favorites.
That was my favorite too, man. That's awesome.
Okay, you like
Where the car
I want to know
smashed
about the
the
car.
fence. That's got it from a junkyard.
So did you actually beat that fender up? Or the
No, believe it or not, no. We gave it a little help, but the car was junked.
Okay.
We made it smash into a tombstone in the front, and we had smoke coming out, and that was a zombie who got ran over, and he was caught in the wheel well.
Sweet.
So you can't see it in this picture, but his torso is mangled, under the car.
One thing I gotta ask is like, everything they're wearing, are you just stressing them out, or you buy it like that?
Yeah. Yep.
You do?
Excellent job.
Definitely.
Oh my god, dude! That is crazy, man. I mean,
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, man. Everything looks
work.
pristine.
Well, this is the picture of how I build all the bodies. I use 2x3s, and you can see there.
What are you doing with your hand, mister?
Believe it or not, it's one of the only pictures. But it's 2x4s, and everything is 2x3s rather, and pillows and batting, and that's it. And the batting is the way to go. It's relatively cheap, and once you get the knack of it, you can build a realistic body that's going to last 20-something years, never get mold, and from year to year, if I have to change it, I break them open and I say, let's do surgery, and I unwrap it, and I'll switch a joint to make them extended, or I'll shift the shoulders, and then they get rewrapped, redressed, and it's another guy.
Do you have any help, Mike?
My brothers do from time to time. Not so much the last couple of years. My mother helps. My wife helps. But
I'm sure a lot of
enough help. Never enough help.
I'm sure a lot of people would know what your technique on distressing is on all these clothes, because I'm gonna tell you something. Like, just looking at that, it's like, wow. I mean, it's like everything looks like it's like old and should be like it.
It's funny. I just joined this group. I don't know, maybe last year, maybe 8 months ago. And I wasn't aware that so many people did it. So I never really, I was just never involved in documenting it or sharing it, because I didn't know there were maniacs like you guys all over the place.
Right.
So
now you know.
Just me.
Now you know. Hey, it's called YouTube, man. It's called YouTube.
I saw the group
on our channel.
Looking for Halloween. We were looking for Christmas lights, me and my wife, and then I came across the group. I said, let me join this group. And then I saw 30,000 members, and then little by little, I said, wow.
Those are some huge cross tombstones in that obelisk.
Yeah, I did a haunted house upstate 4 years ago, and I built a whole cemetery to go outside the barn, and So everything's custom made, and you know, like I said, sometimes I do a cemetery scene, sometimes I keep them packed away in a garage. Like I said, the themes really change from year to year.
Another shot.
Oh, tire marks.
I love the
Sweet.
skid marks. So I love that.
The
Yeah.
skid marks
Yeah.
are awesome.
Oh my God, it's so
Drink
what
those,
makes
or-
it.
It's dirt on the grass and charcoal. So you just take charcoal and draw out the pattern. And you know, the fence is kind of banged out. So when you're standing in the street, you can kind of get the gist that the car spun out, went through the fence during a zombie apocalypse. If you look on the right side of the lawn, there were, you know, 2 teenagers drinking beer in the cemetery when it happened, and they're getting overrun by zombies.
And I see 2 little screamers over here on the right-hand side.
Yeah, I have a little extra room over there. So if I have the time and the resources, you know, extra bodies, I'll always do a little scene. But this was one of my favorites. The soundtrack I put on there, I got an APB from a zombie apocalypse, and that was kind of the sound that would get triggered, and it would, you know, it would be a broadcast emergency, you know, don't trust anyone, you know, it was just, it was such a cool effect as, you know, the family was getting eaten. That was another old one, you know. Sometimes I keep a lot of my favorite guys.
Your fat guy's been around for a while.
Yeah, you know what? He was one of the first ones, and I just can't change him. He looks so good. I get a lot of my masks from Death Studios, and they are about 3/8 of an inch thick, and they will last forever.
Wow.
You've got to be like the best zombie setup that I've seen. I love it.
You know, I've been liking zombies for 30 years. I've been
that's what I'm saying. Is like you got the experience. 30 years.
So this was one year I did. That was it was a complete cornstalk, and that was a lot of work. Tying all those individual corn stalks. There was Jason hanging out in there. I had about 3 or 4 impaled bodies on stakes.
Those are usually the ones that get you in trouble with the neighbors.
You know what? The only complaint I got was from the clown one when I had the teacher getting hung for playing hangman. And I normally don't. I'm sensitive. I don't like to do, you know, hanging people.
Yeah.
You know, I was just thought it would fit. This was a little side scene where there's a campsite.
Forget the hanging. Let's just impale somebody.
The guy's got his chair, and he's drinking beer, camping, and he's got to use the bathroom. So he doesn't know what's behind him. He's camping at Crystal Lake.
Dirty.
Yeah, that's one of the movies.
So he's got something coming his way.
Oh, and we're back. That was the last one.
All right. That was awesome. Thank you.
They're so real.
I know.
They are.
Awesome.
Super awesome zombies.
There was a lot of talk about, Mike, like, what's your next scene? Will there be, I mean, is it always going to be your zombies? Will you ever veer from that?
I have one of my favorite scenes. I did all clowns, and it was a clown birthday party for their infant clown, and it was pretty sadistic. And that was probably, oh my God, 10, 12 years ago. And that was one of my favorite. I don't even know if I have any pictures of it, but it was a 1-year-old monster clown in a high chair and with a gory cake, and he had all the clowns around him, and each one was doing something sinister related to birthdays, and that was one of my favorite. But as far as zombies, I do love the zombies, so I try to include zombies.
We love them too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Kathy, do you have any more questions?
I've been saving this question from Bob Cowell. What's been the most unexpected reward you've experienced from being a home haunter for the panel?
Greg, let's start with you.
Oh my God! I thought you. Why are you gonna start with me? That's a tough question.
You're first.
Unexpected reward.
Unexpected reward.
We'll give you like 2 seconds. Starting now.
Cue up the cricket.
Go.
No, I guess it's the parents. You know what I mean? The parents who come up with their kids and like say like, "Hey, when did you start this?" And I say, November 1st. You know what I mean? And they're like, "Oh, this is awesome. Thanks, man. Thanks for doing this." And that kind of stuff.
You're right.
I guess that.
Cool.
Ryan and Kelly.
I think it's that we are that house, because all of us seem to have that story of that house we went to when we were a kid that's kind of made us do this. And we are that house. We definitely had a little girl and her mom come up last year, and the little girl wants to get involved and start building. So that was pretty cool.
Cool.
I gotta love that house.
That house.
We had that house too. I was like, yeah.
We met a couple of our neighbors that we hadn't known, and we're sitting at a bar one day, and she starts talking to Kelly, and she's like, "Oh, you're the Halloween house."
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly where. That's where our name came
we
from.
actually had someone say, "What happened to the people that were living here before you?" I was like, "Damn,
They're part of the scene."
Kit and Lydia.
I think my biggest thing is we have a few kids in the neighborhood that have some things. There's a couple of autistic little ladies. There's one little girl I think she's about 7, and during build season, she comes by and she wants to see what I'm doing, and her mom brings her by. She's not real verbal, but the fewer kids like that want to come by and poke around when things are actually going on and like before it's all out, I find that like I get a real good feel about that. Like you can see how much they dig on it, and they're there during the day and like they want to push the button and they want to do the things. That makes me happy. That gives me a good happy.
Very cool.
Michael.
I would just say, my display has been a focal point of our town's Halloween for a long time. Like I said, we block off the street. So, most people in the town make an effort to come by on Halloween, and it's safe because it's blocked off, and the neighbors, we go through a ton of candy. But it's just it's for the people in our town, it's not Halloween if they don't come to our house. And it's funny, that's why our name is the Halloween house, because we never thought to really give it a name. That's just what it has become.
There you go, man.
Love it.
Kathy, do you have anything else?
There was a lot of talk about questions about actors. I didn't hear anybody talking about having actors. Nobody has them on the panel.
Greg, do you have any actors?
No, I don't. No, I would like for my son and his friends to get involved, but no, I don't.
Ryan and
Maybe
Kelly.
Got Cookie back there behind you.
Oh yeah. But
We
that's
go
Kyle.
put a cloth on.
He's got me. That's awesome.
Ryan and Kelly, do you guys have any actors?
No.
Yeah, the neighbor who we've randomly met at a bar has offered, but it's not something that we've really ever gone into.
Kit and Lydia.
My now 11-year-old has given up trick-or-treating to kind of stay and pass out candy. He does pretty good about staying in character. He definitely dresses for whatever theme we have. This year we had 3 adults dressed for the theme, and each had a designated area. The one fella in the toxic scene did actually scare the kids, so was he an actor? Yeah, for sure. Something I want to build on more.
Michael?
We used to have actors and put on shows on Halloween, and it got too crazy, too many people, so we stopped doing that. But we do get scares the 2 weeks before on a Tuesday night at 11 o'clock when we're dressed up out there amongst, we'll drink our beers and we'll just wait. And you only get, if you get one scare, you get a group of girls on their way to the bar at 11:15 on a quiet Tuesday. They're not expecting it. That's worth it to all of us. Because you know what? There's so many people on Halloween. the actors wouldn't be able to scare anyone anyway.
Dude, you can just blend right in, just like having a beer. You could be drinking a beer and those thinking, oh my god, that's so awesome.
So, Michael, how many days are you set up and having people come through?
I set up the display for almost the entire month of October. Probably takes me after the first week in October. It's up and out. Like I said, as far as the haunted walkthrough I do in the backyard, that's exclusively for my kids' elementary school, and I do that usually the Thursday before Halloween, and I'll leave it up through Halloween. But I just don't let everyone. I don't let everyone through.
Okay, Greg, how about you?
I usually set up like the week before Halloween, and like the day after, it's pretty much down.
Damn.
Oh.
In my garage.
Another one. There's another one.
Mine's down the next day. Completely gone the next day. Unless there's rain, because I don't want to put them away damp. So if it's sunny, my brothers come over, we pull them out, we pack them in that garage.
Ryan and Kelly, how about you?
It's a little bit different since we put it in our backyard. Usually a couple days beforehand, we'll just open up the fence and, it's there. But we try to have everything set up because we enjoy it. Like, even if I'm not sharing it, I'm going to sit in my backyard and stare at my stuff.
Yeah.
There's always that problem of staring at your stuff because you could be like, wait, I could have done this, I could have done that. Wait, hold up. Let's change the whole thing because I wanted that, do that. Once you're done, just walk away because if you stare at it, there's always something you're going to want to do.
Yeah. We're going to pull back out to the front yard this year. So I think the goal was to have it up the first week of October. And then we usually keep it up for at least a good week afterwards because, again, we enjoy it.
Awesome. Kit and Lydia, how about you?
I usually have everything, especially the big stuff, out that first week of October. I like to have it up the whole month, make sure. We try to make sure that it's available for people to come by before Halloween. Otherwise, they don't get to see everything because there's too many people. But getting it down, I don't know how I'm going to do it this year with my husband away, so it's going to be a chore. Usually it's all down.
Side boob.
Side boob.
Look at side boob flexing it.
Yeah. So instead of playing garage Tetris with my spouse, I'm going to be like, we're going to figure this out all on our own. So, but usually before Veterans Day, so before that first full week of November, we'll have it all down.
Kathy, do you have any more questions?
I do have a few more questions. Does anybody take any measures to prevent vandalism or things being stolen? Matthew Miller would like to know.
Greg, let's start with you.
Well, like I said, I put most of the stuff, like the tombstones and everything, go out before, like a week before Halloween. The big animatronic stuff that moves and I give a shit about goes up the day of Halloween. So I just don't put it out there. So I don't give anyone the opportunity.
Very good.
Ryan and Kelly.
Crap, man. Dude, I was
thinking
the same thing. I was like, damn it.
Ryan, you said you haven't had any issues?
Yeah, we haven't had any issues, but hearse, every time I put it out, I'd wrap a steel cable around it and tie it off to a tree just so it wouldn't walk, because the year we bought it was like the year people were stealing inflatables all over the place. And it's like, I'm not stealing this one.
Yeah, but I mean, I think everybody should say like we had no problem and all the haunts went up and no one stole nothing, and I just put it up just for precaution. That's the right answer, I think.
Kit and Lydia.
For the most part, I have not had trouble. It's the people around are good, and since I'm home days and he's home nights, there's never a time where there's no one here watching.
Nice. Michael?
I had an incident probably 15 years ago. Some young kids did something, and I've never had a problem since. This year, I anticipated a problem because you know, I didn't want any Walking Dead fan to say, hey, I could steal Rick Grimes. He looks pretty good. So I drove stakes 3 feet into the ground when I chained them up that you never would have saw. You know, so if someone ripped them out and try to take them, it would have been very difficult. And luckily, nobody touched it. I thought for sure I was going to lose someone this year.
Dude,
As far as
you know what that's like hunt respect right there. You got hunt respect in the community right there that no one takes.
I hear people's stories, and you know, it's heartbreaking. But
It's
you know,
horrible.
we've been lucky. You know, like I said, I think we've been doing it so long. The teenage kids who would be at that age to do it have been coming since they were 2. So, like you said,
Yeah.
I think they do respect it.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and knock on wood, we really don't have any problems.
Awesome.
Kathy, we have time for one more really quick question.
I've got one really quick question that I was told that I had to ask on here.
Got one.
Kit and Lydia, what is in the damn cabinet?
You see, it's fully displayed. However, it's staying closed.
Oh, man. I tried, guys.
I know.
She knows. Good
I
luck.
was babysitting one night and I got up on a chair and I opened it up and I peeked.
She knows.
I know.
Did it bite?
No, it's
She ain't been the same since. Look.
No, scarred for life.
all right, Kathy, I think we can still get away with one more quick one for the panel.
I've got one left from Nikki Spoon. Question for the panel: what prop do you want to build that you haven't yet?
Greg?
The cannon.
Oh, yeah.
I think we already said that. The cannon.
Yeah, we already had a question out there.
Very
You
good.
go with this one. All right,
more.
so, yep. Different one.
Different question. We did that one.
Oh, a different question.
Yeah.
Oh, caught me off guard here. I thought we were going
Uh-oh.
right through. Darn it.
That's what
All
we
right,
did.
I have a quick one. All right. So, have any of you had any problems with weather? Let's start with Greg.
Wind.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
wind.
Wind.
Yeah, I've had to bring all my tombstones in. Like whenever I know the East Coast got hit with the hurricane, we got a little of it here in Ohio too. So a few years ago, so I brought everything in that night and put everything back out the next day. So it's always something.
All right, Ryan and Kelly.
Yeah, and one year before we got better stakes for our tombstones, half of them went down the street. Luckily, some of the neighbors were nice enough to pick them up and bring them back.
Damn it.
Kit and Lydia, you guys said wind too, right?
Oh yeah.
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 I'm about 4 neighborhood blocks from the Narragansett Bay, so we're pretty close to the water. We get some good gusts especially when there's weather, but we've sorted out the whole weight everything, make sure it's staked, even on the roof stuff. So it's all anticipated now.
Michael, how about you?
Nope, never any issues. Like I
No.
said, I build all my guys out of 2x3s, and they are driven into that ground, and they are windproof, weatherproof. So I never have any issues.
And ain't nobody stealing that shit.
No, they're not going anywhere.
Well, thank you guys all so much. This is a great show, and we are going to announce the prizes now.
Yay!
And I'm not saying because I
And
don't
there's-
know for sure who's doing it.
There is a lot of
There's a
questions
picture of
Okay.
it. in case you want
after the show. If the guests want to go back and answer some of the questions that weren't asked, you could do that. But the winners for tonight, the Froggy's Fog, Jennifer Daigle. The FFFX Mask, Ryan Wilson. The Fright Props Bottle of Blood, Matt.
No. Oh,
Nope.
Oh,
Oh, no.
What?
Not there.
Huh?
oh.
What?
All right.
Huh?
Goes on to the Sinful Audio download. To Harold Kynes.
Harold.
The Sam Haynes download goes to Michael Lassiter.
Michael.
And winners just need to contact Judy Rydell by Friday to claim your prize.
Right. The fright props, like I said, they ran out of the wet and blood, so they were giving away a troll. So who would the troll go to?
Well, that would have been Matt Burke then.
All right.
Thank you, Matt. It's all good. All right, we want to thank everybody for coming out. We want to definitely thank for the guests to come out and give us all the info. Please go back in the questions and answer everything. And make sure, Mike, you let us know where the masks come from, my man.
Yeah.
No problem.
And we got the Hunters Hangout shirts that we got 2 weeks left to go, and that goes to the St. Jude's Children's Hospital. You definitely want to get them. We have the Fright Props challenge that you have till, I think, tomorrow with the code to get a discount and build the props. There's like $100 in prizes that you guys could win, so don't forget that. And we want to thank everybody for coming out. We want to thank everybody that filled in for us, Mike, Kathy. Thank you guys for on the spot filling in for us, and thank you, Jackie, for just what you do. And we're out of here.